Yes, I have started it.
Okay. Because it is my firm belief that these lectures should start igniting thoughts, acceleration of these thoughts in your day-to-day life. Because life throws different challenges and different situations come your way. And then we all start thinking, अरे इसको कैसे handle करना चाहिए? How could I have done it better? Sometimes post-event thoughts. Maybe we should have done it this way, or was that better? Or should I have handled this person better this way to create better relationship? Or how do I build a relationship with this important person in my life? Just put up these thoughts in the chat box. I just take this phone. I'm waiting for your thoughts on the chat box.
Girls, please send your answers in chat box.
Thought controlling us. Yeah, Shraddha?
Yes, so I feel that it happens most of the time, like with almost all of us or like most of us.
Yes, it happens. So what you're trying to say is we want positive thoughts because thoughts will always
Exactly.
control you.
That's right. So as in, what happens with us, so with me and my friends, like I've spoken to many of the people like who are of my age. So they are like कि overthinking तो होती है, अब तक सब लोग बोलते आए कि overthinking होती है. That is fine, but मतलब एक लिमिट भी होना चाहिए ना कि ठीक है यार ये तो शायद से होगा भी नहीं लेकिन you're still thinking about it. This might not even happen in the future or like even right now. It's just your mind is taking you to that point where you actually have to think all of that and you're actually letting yourself think about it. You're not stopping yourself, nahi hoga, forget it karke. So that's what I'm trying to say.
दादा ये मेरे साथ अभी हो रहा है. Actually, before I started this session, and because I got call from my two of the wealth managers, they said that अभी आज stock market नीचे गिर रही है और थोड़े टाइम से गिर रही है नीचे. Okay, so my thoughts have been, अरे क्या करना चाहिए? Should I come out or should I invest more? Right? तो
Yes.
अब ये situations अपनी life में आते ना, some of you who are thinking are getting these questions and bringing these questions to the class.
Mhm.
And that's where you will be learning. Thoughts will always control you. First thing, understand. Mm.
Yes.
Our mind
Mhm.
is like a garden, and garden
Mhm.
has weeds, and garden has beautiful flowers also. So some thoughts are like weeds, and our mind capability has to be developed to understand what is a weed and what is a flower, because our behavior will always be controlled by the thoughts, always. So if we want thoughts not to control us, then what we are saying is we don't want negative thoughts to control us.
Yes, that's right.
So right now stock market is going down. Every day people were happy looking at their net worth going up, up, up. What you got to accept is that upar ya niche, both are facts of life. We cannot have just the day, not the night. So it's acceptance of reality. Once you get the acceptance, then you are able to manage the thoughts better. I'm saying manage, because you will have to control the negative thoughts. You'll have to convert those negative thoughts into positive thoughts. Now, I'm giving you example of one of my family members who's right now diagnosed with cancer. Now, the thoughts are what? Of survival and death. Now, obviously, that worry, the end of life. And now, who knows who's going to go when? But the moment you have something like cancer, you know that this disease takes you away. So you start reverse counting. Now, that is one way of handling life. The same thought, which becomes so negative and can create depression, and you can just start getting into your own insulated room where nobody can go through and talk to you. That's one way thoughts will control you. Second way, how to convert this into positivity is by having a positive attitude. भाई मरना तो सबने, किसी ने पहले किसी ने बाद में, किसी को पता है कब जाना है, किसी को नहीं पता है कब जाना है. But what is the guarantee that I will get up tomorrow? Are there any guarantees in life? No. So जब लाइफ की कोई गारंटी है ही नहीं, आंसर हो या नहीं हो, अब आपको ये तो मालूम है कि आपका टाइम, आपका समय निश्चित है. You have a constant amount of time. Some people know 6 months, 6 years, 10 years. Some people think they are immortal. Most people, in fact, don't even know that we are mortal human beings. They think we are here forever. That is the problem that we face today. कि सब लोग मरना भूले हुए हैं. ये कॉन्शियसनेस रियलाइजेशन अगर सब में आ जाए, एक पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड डेवलप हो जाएगा अपने आप. So I was speaking to her. I said, look, this is a fact of life. And whatever time we have, let's spend celebrating life. So in the family, we decided we are going to celebrate. Every day will be a celebration. We'll create beautiful memories. So thoughts are still controlling us. But what we did? We first converted that fear and anxiety into something positive. With our positive attitude, we said that, okay, time is limited for everyone. In this case, we just know that yes, it may be few years. So what are we going to do? Cry for these remaining few years, or really celebrate and enjoy? You can do both. You can cry. You can say, why me? What have I done wrong? But first, acceptance that everyone is here to die one day. Death is the truth. It's the only truth in life are death and taxes. You have to pay taxes and you have to die. You cannot deny these two truths. But once you start living with this consciousness that death is inevitable and you don't know how much time you have, the fact that we have gotten up today itself is a reason for offering our gratitude. Your entire attitude towards life changes. And when the attitude towards life changes, negative thoughts will come. But God will bless you with abilities to convert those negative thoughts. First, accept the emotion. It's okay. It's happened. It's a fact. So I accept it. But now what? Will I let the negative emotions take the best of me, or will I deal it with a positive attitude? So I make a choice, a conscious choice to create a positive thought of, no, I'm going to celebrate every day of my life now. And now I'm going to overcome all the challenges that are going to come on my way, along my way. And that gives you strength. Thoughts still control you. Now what you have done, those negative thoughts you've converted into first a positive thought. And then these thoughts control your actions. So mind is like a garden. Weeds will come in and you are the gardener. So you will have to consciously first differentiate weeds from beautiful flowers and uproot those weeds and throw it out of the garden. And instead of these weeds, wherever these weeds came, plant a beautiful flower. That means a negative thought goes out. In the place of that negative thought, a positive thought is planted. Otherwise, negative thought will keep coming back. Just like weeds in the garden. आप उखाड़ लो फिर वापस आ जाएगी, उसकी जगह कुछ और आपको बोना पड़ेगा ताकि वो वापस नहीं आए. Mind is also like that. So whenever you are having this problem that negative thoughts start taking the best of you, first uproot them. In place of those negative thoughts, plant a positive thought related to that issue only, whatever be the issue. So Shraddha, if you have any more examples, we can take the issues and I can tell you how to convert that negative into positive.
So right now I can't think of anything as such, but it can be anything, literally the smallest of thing, and I'll be like thinking, like constantly my mind is thinking about something, and that's like obvious, like everyone does, but like it's always something that will stress me out, nothing that will like make me feel like ha chalo theek se ho jayega something. I try to keep myself positive at times, but when it comes to overthinking, then nahi hota hai at times.
ओवर थिंकिंग इसलिए होता है क्योंकि हम उसको एक्सेप्ट नहीं करते. जो भी चीज है वो भी उसको पहले एक्सेप्ट कर लो. एक्सेप्ट कर लो कि हाँ ये है रियलिटी. अभी मेरे को इसके बाद क्या, उसके बाद सिर्फ एक्शन है. अगर आप एक्शन नहीं ले रहे हो फिर ओवर थिंकिंग होगा. अगेन आई विल गिव यू एग्जांपल ऑफ one of my friends. He got diagnosed with a heart problem. Okay. Now he was thinking kya, or the problem was very unique. Okay. इंडिया में उतने ज्यादा उस चीज के ऑपरेशन उस समय नहीं होते थे, अब होने लगे। सो इतना ज्यादा थिंकिंग, इतना ज्यादा वरी, पूरी फैमिली ये वो सब करके उन्होंने सबके लिए स्ट्रेस क्रिएट कर लिया, सब लोग बीमार पड़ना शुरू हो गए घर में। ऐसा ही होता ना, व्हेन यू वरी एंड यू डोंट एक्ट, यू ओनली वरी, you only worry, there is no action. So worrying is
Right.
like holding a glass of water in your hand. How long will you hold it? A time will come when your all the muscles are going to give up, and you will feel
Right.
fatigue, and you will have pain. So worrying without action is overthinking, and that creates fatigue in you. So always be action oriented. Problems will come, challenges will come. The prayer is always, God, take me to the cliff. I am not afraid of the cliff. That means cliff is a challenge. Cliff को जानते हो ना क्या होता है? बहुत ऊंचा पहाड़, उसके एकदम किनारे पे, वहां से नीचे गिरे तो गिरे, मर गया आदमी। और भगवान लेके जाता है आपको क्लिफ पे, और आपको कुछ नजर नहीं आता, सिर्फ नीचे खाई नजर आती है। So the prayer is, God, take me to the cliff, but give me wings to fly. Difficulties will come in your life, but if you have faith in that power, He will give you wings to fly. तो इस केस में क्या हुआ? He discovered the best place to go was in US for the surgery, and then the whole family started working to, and they created an action plan. They saved the money. They built up the resources. Person went to US, got himself operated, is living happily now. पर एक साल तक सारी की सारी जो फैमिली थी, सिर्फ कोई ये बीमार पड़ रहा है, किसी को ये बीमार पड़ रहा है, किसी को किडनी स्टोन हो रहा है, किसी को कुछ हो रहा है, क्योंकि स्ट्रेस इज द बिगेस्ट किलर। किसी को हाइपरटेंशन हो गया, दूसरे आदमी को भी। क्यों हो गया? पहले तो आपने एक्सेप्ट नहीं किया कि ये मेरे साथ ही क्यों ऐसा हुआ। अब भगवान ने तुमको चूज किया है, He's taken you to the cliff. Now you pray, start planning for your resources, and start looking for solutions. When you look for solutions, you'll find them. When you look for problems, you'll find them. Why you can't do, you are right. Why you can do, also you are right. So that positive attitude. If you think I can, you are right. If you think you can't, you are right. Both ways it works. So why not think that I can? Once you start thinking you can, your mind starts showing you the way. Provided you are engineering your mind by doing all the things that we have discussed so far. If you are not genuine in your efforts, if you are not practicing the good acts and good qualities and the good virtues that we have talked about, and you are not honest, you are not sincere, you have a weak mind. It's not going to come, and God is not going to give you wings to fly then. And that is the spiritual connect we are trying to bring in our everyday life. And you start doing this and you will see, challenges will come, solutions will come, your ability to overcome those challenges will also come, your acceptance will come, and your action will be guided by the positive thoughts that your mind itself creates in a negative situation. So overthinking will not happen when you create an action plan. Worrying will stop when you create an action plan. So the secret is to create the action plan and do something about it. Thank you, Shraddha. Vaishnavi. Okay, I like today class participation. So nice. Isha, to what extent one should self-analyze? All the time. Self-analysis should be done at all times. Once in a day, close your eyes. In fact, start a very good habit is to start a diary. And in that diary, first thing is put down the date. When you start your day, make a commitment to yourself that today I'm going to make one person happy. Make a commitment. I'm going to make one person happy. Or I'm going to make two persons happy. Whatever is your wish. And during the day, be conscious. Second thing, do. We're talking about self-analysis now. End of the day. So this way, any positive thing that you want to do, I want to help someone. I'll help one person. So these are some positive acts that you can think about. Or I'll cook some good food for someone you love. Right? Or I'll make someone's day. I'll make someone happy who's not known to me, who I meet first time. Give yourself these kind of spiritual challenges every day. And in end of the day, in the same diary, just now self-analysis. How many times I lied? How many times I hurt people knowingly or unknowingly? Because sometimes you unknowingly hurt people. It's not your intention, but you look at their facial expression and you know.
Okay, I found this on the web for facial expression, Check.
My Siri is getting unnecessary. This is so much for artificial intelligence. I think Siri started liking what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, मैंने कितना झूठ बोला, कितने लोगों का दिल दुखाया, कितने प्लांट्स को हार्म किया, कितने एनिमल्स को हार्म किया, मैं कुछ भी मान लो दिन में कुछ किसी के साथ इंटरेक्शन हुआ, उसको मैं कैसे और अच्छा कर सकता था, या मैंने कोई काम किया, मैंने लेक्चर दिया और बच्चों को कंपैशन पे दिया, तो इसको मैं और कैसे अच्छा कर सकता था, राइट? तो मैंने कहाँ पे फिजूल खर्ची की, मैं कहाँ पे कमिटमेंट ज्यादा कर सकता था, मैं कहाँ पे टाइम ज्यादा दे सकता था, मैं कहाँ पे खर्चा ज्यादा कर सकता था, टू मेक थिंग्स बेटर, नॉट जस्ट फॉर मी बट collective. This kind of self-analysis, you do it in a diary and start with this habit. I used to have this habit when I was in the college. And this habit actually came, अभी I am sure दादाजी के अगर आप लोगों ने सुने होंगे कुछ सत्संग, मैंने भी I was blessed to listen to some good satsangs because my parents were part of a mission. So whatever, I used to go also with them. And they were filling this diary. And I found that really helped, because once you start jotting down what wrong things you are doing on a day-to-day basis, you become conscious. See, there's a difference between awareness and consciousness. Awareness is, you know it should not be done, but you still do it. And after doing it, you realize you have done it. Because you are aware, you know it is wrong, but you are not control on the action. But when you start writing this diary, when you start self-analyzing it regularly, your behavior, and this could be a small behavior that, you spoke to a taxi driver disrespectfully. You didn't realize it, but you just ended up using a tone which was disrespectful. You are aware that that is not the way. Just because he is poor, you should not be speaking like that. You are aware, but the control was not there in your action. So when you start self-analyzing this kind of behavior on a regular basis, analysis is not to be rude to you and be harsh to yourself. That is the objective. Don't kill yourself by over criticism. Don't kill yourself by self-evaluation. The objective of self-analyzing should be how I will do better tomorrow. So the objective is very different, because I have come across so many students and कुछ भी गलत हो गया लाइफ में, हो जाता है. और स्टूडेंट्स लाइफ में काफी कुछ गलत होता है, because when I'm also a counselor on some of the campuses. I've been interacting with students. आप लोग का तो सिर्फ गर्ल्स कॉलेज है, मेरे दूसरे कॉलेज को एजुकेशन कॉलेजेस हैं, उसमें there are the relationships go out of control and a lot of mess happens and a lot of psychological emotional problems happen, and then people are living with guilt. And once the guilt sets in, then it starts affecting their performance. Once it starts affecting their performance, this depression, emotion and everything comes in. Then they have to take some drugs, outside help, external help, and that's when they start coming for counseling. And you realize that there's so much of self-analysis that has happened, for which they are actually being so harsh to themselves. You need to sometimes give yourself also, you have to be kind to yourself. Something wrong has happened and you can't change it now. Don't be so harsh to yourself that you think that's the end of the world. No. You have fallen, that's fine. You have hurt, that's fine. You are feeling the pain, that's fine, accept the pain. But more important than falling is your ability to get up and run again and start the next phase of life. So where self-analysis becomes very bad and starts impacting, and this happens in corporates, it happens in team performances, and you suddenly realize, oh, this guy was my Sachin Tendulkar, today he suddenly become, a nobody. He can't even hold the bat. When you become part of the corporates, whatever we are discussing today in the class, I can guarantee you, you'll be able to handle better with people, but actualize it inside you. Because the biggest ability of a leader is how to manage people, and this is what we are learning. So self-analysis, answer, do it regularly, accept your mistakes, stay out of negative emotions, don't be overcritical and harsh to yourself, and try to do something better next time. In fact, look for an opportunity. कुछ ऐसा ज़्यादा गलत हो गया तो look for an opportunity on how to undo it if possible. If you can't undo it, try to bring in the consciousness now, not the awareness. Because by self-analysis, what happens? Awareness gets converted into consciousness. And once you are conscious, next time before you do it, because you are now conscious, you will become mindful of the fact that nahi karna. No, I'll not do it. So awareness convert into consciousness, consciousness convert into mindfulness. Then now when you become mindful that, oh, I should not be angry. I get angry very easily. I should not be angry. Once you self-analyze on a daily basis of the events that took place day to day, and you realize that, okay, this interaction, I could have done it better this way. And you become conscious next time. Next time भी आप consciousness के बाद भी कुछ ना कुछ होगा. Something will happen. But you will know immediately. And maybe you will say sorry immediately. Sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. But the third stage is being mindful. Once you become mindful, then you know, oh, anger is coming, I should keep my mouth shut. Or I should go away from there. Right? So self-analysis, Isha, self-analysis is important, but what you do after that is more important. I hope I have answered. Isha, are you there? Isha, can you unmute yourself? Okay, let's move forward. How to control your emotions when in a practical situation? Why you want to control your emotions? Vaishnavi? Because what I'm saying is, what needs to be controlled as an emotion, you'll find strength automatically to control. That's how your body is designed actually. And not all emotions should be controlled. It's okay to cry. It's very, very okay to cry. The chairman and president and managing director of Toyota, in fact, his video is there. He cried when Toyota cars had to be recalled for a design defect. He cried in public. So this stigma that we attach to tears, I personally don't attach. Crying is an acceptable emotion. If someone's crying, that should be okay. And if it is not okay to someone, then fine. Yes, love is an emotion which you need to control, but you will get strength to control. You like somebody, you can't just go and hug and kiss. No, because you will get strength. That's easier to control, right? Negative emotion like grief and you're feeling like crying, that is not easy to control. So don't control. Be genuine with your emotion. And you can say, sorry, sorry, I didn't mean to, but I'm genuinely feeling sad and I couldn't control. That's fine. And people will accept you for your genuinity. Oh, this person is genuine. I've seen in all corporate situations, it happens. People fail. So they come and they cry because they had put their best efforts behind the project. So they cry. And if I am the boss, it doesn't mean that that person is weak. No. Tears is not a mark of weakness. In fact, tears is a mark of sensitivity. If someone can cry looking at someone else in pain, I can tell you that is the symptom of the highest quality of a human being.
Sir, I want to say something.
Yes, Vishwanaji.
Sir, what you are saying, I agree with you. But in Indian mentality, when small children are there, especially um, boy, huh? At that time we say that लड़का है, लड़के रोते नहीं हैं. ये हमें मतलब हम जब छोटे होते हैं तभी उनको बताया जाता है कि लड़के रोते नहीं हैं.
ये बहुत गलत प्रोग्रामिंग करते हैं बच्चों की.
Right. So I think it should be changed with each family.
बिल्कुल. ये लड़का लड़की differentiation has to stop. It's okay to cry when boys can cry. No problem. In fact, I have always seen that men who cry, they build compassionate teams. And those teams go out to perform very, very tough tasks. Why? Because of empathy and compassion for the other person. Because you cry only if you have a heart. And if you have a heart, that means you are human. And if you are human, you have the human capabilities. So, yeah, there are ruthless leaders also. There are different leadership styles. There has been a Hitler also. But what we are talking about are the stigmas that we attach to these things. But when eventually we are talking about happiness in day-to-day life, we are talking about corporate leadership, we are talking about creating effective leadership, we are talking about creating sensitive teams which empathize. See, empathy, sympathy, and then comes compassion. You first empathize. So empathize. How can you empathize if you don't have a heart? For empathy, you need to put yourself in the other person's shoes and feel his pain. That is what empathy is about. And once you have sensitivity towards that pain, then you sympathize. Sympathy is what? You feel the pain. It starts causing you pain. And the third stage is what? Compassion. Now, after sympathizing, after feeling the pain, now you want to do something about that person's pain. And all this would not happen if you're not having a sensitive heart. And a sensitive heart is always going to cry. And whether it is a boy or a girl, sensitivity is an outstanding quality to have. It's a virtue without which leadership will never be remembered. Aaj Hitler is remembered only for wrong reasons. वो North Korean जो leader है. In fact, you see how many Muslim rulers have come, Aurangzeb and all that, Any man who was in the leadership position, who was not sensitive, is not remembered with love. You can check out the history. So this programming that we do in the childhood for children, that you are a boy, you're not supposed to cry, it's a very wrong programming. In fact, whenever any child cries, the way to handle a child's grief is to become a mirror of his emotions. You are crying, oh my God, it must be hurting very bad. Tell me what happened. You become a mirror of the emotions. Why in the child? That's how you handle emotions of your colleagues. That's how you handle emotions of your family members. The moment you see someone in grief, you become the mirror of those emotions rather than sitting in the judgment seat and say, hey, you are a boy, you are crying. What are we doing? We are judging. Consciously, a corporate leader has to, if he wants to grow as a leader in any sphere, family or corporate world, he has to be conscious and mindful about not giving judgments immediately. And he should not criticize immediately. It's the same thing. You are told child not to jump on the beds. We all have that situation at home. Huh? Children, they love to jump. बेटा हाथ लग जाएगी. अब बच्चा नहीं सुनता है. ये कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड में भी होता है. You tell your colleague, no, you don't make these shortcuts. हम लोग का import export का काम है, तो हम लोग के काम में there are some things that we have to do. And some of my employees, they don't do it. वो भी मैं आपको भी कहानी actual corporate world की बताता हूँ. But the child doesn't listen to you, so he falls and the blood comes out. Now you as a parent can say, देखा तू सुनता नहीं है, मैं तेरे को बोला था, I told you you'll fall and you'll hurt yourself. See what happened. That's one way of reacting. That's an insensitive person. A sensitive person will say, oh my God, so much blood, you must be hurting. It must be hurting very bad. Come, let's do something about it. Let me put some ointment on this wound. Now that is the right way. You are mirroring the emotions of the child first. Then you are empathizing. Oh, it must be hurting. So you're expressing. Whatever you are saying and doing is working as a ointment already on the child's wound. And then you're saying, let's do something about it. Now you are showing compassion. So you go out and pull out the ointment and you put it on that very lovingly. Next time some similar incident takes place in your life around, it will take place maybe today itself. Try to act like this. And you will see when you are saying, oh, it must be hurting, beta, the child will say, no, mom, it's becoming, I can handle it. I'm a strong boy. I can do it. You'll see. And the same thing happens in the corporate world when your colleague has made a mistake. In fact, in my last lecture of forgiveness, I gave that episode where one of my employees from accounts actually ended up transferring $26,000 odd to the hacker's account. Real life incident I'm sharing, if you've not gone through that video. And this person had been working with me for good 20 years. One of the most committed persons. Lakhs and lakhs she has handled. And now what happened, when all these hacking, etc. had just started. These crimes had just started. So my customer, my agent in Indonesia, his account got hacked. So he had sent us an invoice for his commission, which had the instructions of the bank, which was his bank in Singapore. Because his account got hacked, the hacker changed the account details. And for that, instead of Singapore, the money went to UK, London. Now, this person, she was a general manager. Had she been very vigilant. The person is in Indonesia. Normally he takes his money in his Singapore bank. Why he's going to London? अच्छा, London तो जा रहा है. The name of the bank and the name of the beneficiary भी अलग है. तो थोड़ा vigilance का, alertness का. She should have just been alert and vigilant. The name of the beneficiary was changed. The name of the bank was changed. And now she brought the transfer instructions to the vice president of my company. And he also did the mistake. He also signed. Money got transferred. When money was not received by my agent, he started complaining. And we started sending him the proof of payment. And when he looked at the proof, he said, this is not my bank account. And then we started investigating. We said, but this is the invoice you sent us. So we transferred as per you. Then we realized that that invoice which had come to us was not from his account. It was from a similar looking account, but not his account. So that was another mistake. Now this person who has worked for me for 20 years, now this incident is similar to the child jumping on the bed, right? And when I called that person, obviously it was a big loss for the company. How should I handle this episode? I could have been a ruthless leader and I could have criticized and I could have fired. But looking at the track record, the intention of the person was not to fail. The record said the person is honest, sincere, truthful, committed. All the positive qualities that you want to have in a person were there. What was this? This was a plain accident. Because it was a plain accident, I needed to be a sensitive leader. The first thing that happened was, oh my God, she was crying. I let her cry. Was it a sign for weakness? No. It was a genuine emotion of hurt. The person was so hurt because of this accident, bleeding emotionally. What did I do? I did the same. I said, I know. It's really hurting you. उसका मुंह से आवाज नहीं निकल रही थी. She couldn't speak a word. She kept on crying for 10 minutes. I called for water. I called for tea. I called for, no sir, I want to go home, sir. I want to resign, sir. I've done such a massive. I said, Rekha, you're not going to do any of this. You're going to do none of this. In my company, I also create businesses that make loss. Then I told her, do you remember that customer? He went bankrupt. Whose decision was it to do business with him? He did not pay us on time. He made only 50% payment. Do you remember that? It was my mistake. So if I can go wrong, you can go wrong. And I want to tell you, that day and today, this very person must have saved me 10 times more than the loss that she created by way of GST compliances, income tax compliances, winning cases for income tax with the income tax department, etc., etc., etc. Why? Because the commitment came. What did I buy? The obedience. And I bought the loyalty and that lifelong commitment by treating her like my own family. Instead of her, if it had been my own son or daughter who had committed this mistake, what would have I done? Right? So I'm just telling you about expression of emotions, You got to understand what kind of emotions, what kind of situation, what needs to be controlled, what doesn't need to be controlled. So what needs to be controlled, definitely control it. So it depends on the situation. Okay, Vaishnavi?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So, Jyotika, how one can control their emotions and not get angry? That's a tough one, Jyotika. When someone is doing wrong, this is a tough one because most people fail and some people pass, and 80% of the situation, 20% of the situation, you'll still fail. But the fact is, you got to practice. Okay. And most people will not learn by just you telling them that it is wrong. Accept that fact first. They will be your children, they'll be your sister, they'll be your parents even. You will see people jumping from a cliff without wings. But you will not be able to do something till they fall, till they hurt themselves, because that is their karma. First accept that. Because what anger you get is because you know it's not good for the person, or it's not good for you, or it's not good for the family, yet you are not able to control that action. The fact is, if it's destined to be controlled, the person would have listened to you. So, technique is the same. Bring acceptance that this person is built like that, his karma is like that. Okay, and therefore he's going to learn this way only. And those of you who have large families, you will see that there are children like that. Some of you may be also like that, where your parents will tell you, ये बेटा मत कर, तुम करोगे लेकिन तुम्हारे को रिजल्ट ठीक नहीं आएगा, फिर तुम उससे सीखोगे, then you will become a better person. कुछ लोग गिर के और ठोकर खा के सीखते हैं, कुछ लोग दूसरों के एक्सपीरियंस से सीखते हैं. So इसके लिए once you accept the fact that you are helpless with this person, this will be person specific, okay? This will not be. Anger anyway is not going to help, will it? By being angry, it's not going to help. At the most, you can only tell and advise the person not to do it. And it happens in all families. I don't want to name it. Happens. It's right now happening in my family. It's right now happening with me. I know that this person whom I love, part of my family, is highly diabetic, should not be eating sweets. The doctors have said no. The person is hiding the sweets, eating it, and I come to know. Even if I get angry, what happens? Which I did. I ended up only spoiling my relationship. I ended up only, creating situations which I regretted. So when you are self-analyzing, now I'm taking the answers of the earlier question. When you are self-analyzing on a daily basis, what do you realize? Look, anger is not a solution. So next time this happens, I will only go and tell nicely that you should be conscious and you should be mindful, because this is what has been advised to you. If you don't, then your pain, nobody can share. One fact of life is, our pain is only our pain. We will never be able to share with anyone. And once you become conscious, and next time you will be mindful when the anger comes. Now, how to handle anger is a related question. And that's a bigger topic. So we will maybe keep it for the next class. How to handle anger. Okay. So that we will keep it for the next class. Just remind me, Jyotika. Huh?
Okay, sir.
Next class, we will talk about how to manage anger, because it's a very, very important skill. And in the corporate world, very useful, because peace and calm builds leader. Leaders always stay calm. How many times I lost my temper? Yes. Vaishnavi saying, sir, like in situations where I am feeling overwhelmed myself but have a practical obligation such as a job.
So that was regarding the earlier question which I asked.
Okay, so that is answered, na?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Why love is always taken for granted? Because it is love. Not just love. That you are dependent. That you can always be called upon. You call it love or reliability. Okay, even reliability. That is taken for granted. That you'll always help will be taken for granted. And that is something you don't like. So, in fact, that's a blessed situation because only a tree which can give shade is taken for granted. Na? Only a tree that can give fruits is taken for granted. Na? When people start taking you for granted, Priyanka, when people start taking you for granted means you are blessed. Okay? So, you can tell them, you can express your emotion to them that, look, I love doing this for you, but please give me enough notice. Please tell me in advance so that I can plan for it better. I love you and you know that, but I also need this. So communicate. The answer is what? When people start taking you for granted, express your emotion. But don't say, hey, don't take me for granted. Don't say that. Say, look, I love you. I love to do things for you. But when you don't give me notice, I get into a situation where I don't like myself. I like to do this for you. But because I don't get enough notice, I get stressed. And I don't like to be in this situation. Next time, can we do this way? You need money, you need help, you can tell me in advance, you can call me and you can tell me straight rather than asking through this person. Whatever be the issue. The way to handle it is positively. Say you love doing it first and then say, can we do it this way next time? Communicate. Huh? This I didn't understand. They deserve it and it creates ego in them. Ego is always there. Ego is part of us, Priyanka. We all have ego. The only thing is that this ego should be used positively. Okay? Ego should not be used negatively. And there are examples of specific to situations. If you have a situation, I can tell you how a ego could have been used positively. Right? In most situations, you have you'll say, oh, my ego is hurt or my self-esteem is hurt. This person treated me this way. Okay, the way you use that ego. So some situations, if we can talk of, which are in your mind, then I can maybe respond to you better. Do you have any situation in mind, Priyanka?
Yes, sir. So, like, we can see the one who works the most on. So, like, if we take it, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello.
Try again.
So like we can see, like obviously take example of housewives. So they do a lot of work. So they lose themselves. They don't take care of themselves, and then people think that it's her duty. She's doing it, and she's taken for granted, and she's left alone. Like she's doing all the chores, and
So where's the
it really
ego
hurts to
part?
see them. So like helps also when. So they feel like the one who is working or is getting the money. They feel like, yeah, I'm doing this. I'm greater, and I deserve it because I earned, so I deserve it. Someone is doing some other chores, they don't deserve it. So that should never come, right?
That should never come. That should never. See, these stereotypes need to be broken. In fact, I propose that there should be a housewife day, just the way we have Father's Day, Mother's Day, because homemaker, this housewife, we should not call housewife, we should call them home builders. Because what if there were poor home builders in a nation? Would you have a nation of capable people? The answer is no. And this is in India only, huh? These home builders, housewives, just because you are not earning, you are not given that status. Actually, you have an equal role to play. If someone's getting money in the family and someone's building the home and building the children, it's a very important role. That's a corporate leader's role, because in this case, corporate is home. And without a good leader, you cannot have a good employees. You cannot have a good family. You cannot have good citizens in the country. So these stereotypes, I propose that you children, you try to make that difference in which wherever you see that, start voicing your opinions. Start fighting for that, injustice. And why should that housewife be neglected? No way. So times have changed, and this change can be brought about now after this class that we are discussing this, wherever you see this. And you need to recognize their contribution and you need to bring to the fore. Because one thing I have seen, this ability to speak up, which I say is a necessary ability, which is what I keep telling you, ki beta, respond, let's have an interactive session, because I want you to speak up. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to bring this ability in you to start speaking up. Why these kind of injustices you see happening in the families in India is because women don't speak up against women. They will see, हाँ मम्मी को हो रहा है, बिटिया भी बेचारी, उसको भी मालूम है, मैंने भी कल को जाके यही करना है. So there is an acceptance of this injustice, and it continues for generations after generations. Times have changed. 50% of our country's human time is wasted in only the kitchen. Kitchen is a very important person, but why should man not go there? He also eats. Why are we attaching stigma? In fact, the best chefs are all men. So they like doing this job outside. Why not at home? Why should it only be the job of women to be in the kitchen? I have 2 boys. I myself cook. I have trained them to be good cooks. They're all fantastic cooks. Because the only thing I told is that, look, there's nothing about boy or girl. We need to empower ourselves. You should be able to survive in any circumstances. Now that ability which I'm asking you, I ask you to speak here in the class. I want you to go out, speak at home. I want you to go and speak it up in any family where you see this injustice against the house. Because that's what your soul loves. That's what is going to create a very strong inner world when you start speaking against injustice. Speaking meaning speak nicely. You don't have to be disrespectful. Communicate positively, okay? But do it.
Thank you, sir. So also, sir, every job is a job, right, sir? Be it housewife, be it like a sweeper or house helps. They all have their feelings. We should always respect it, right, sir?
Absolutely, absolutely. And every job has to be given the same status. Somebody who's just a cleaner, he should not be looked down upon. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Remember, this is again the spiritual quality. Yesterday's session, we said, be kind to animals. The fact is, all souls are equal, beta. It is not the job ये जो हमारा वर्ण एक संस्था सी जो बना दी हमने, जिसमें हमने ब्राह्मण, क्षत्रिय, शूद्र और अपना वैश्य, ये 4 श्रेणियां बनाई ना, ये एक जो डिवीजन क्रिएट किया हमने बेस्ड ऑन द वर्क पीपल डू एंड देन समथिंग इज सुपीरियर देन, दिस इज रॉन्ग. Spiritually, all souls are equal. Our jobs, therefore, are all jobs that we are doing for the divine to make this world a better place. Take away any category of the people and try to live without them. You will not be. If all cleaners you take away from the society, how dirty the society is going to be. Everyone is going to die. So is that an important job or not? It is a very important job. So why not treat them with respect? So try it, bring up this change also in the thinking. So every job is respectable, but that also means that once we start giving respect to all these people and they start feeling respected, change will come. Okay, definitely. So last one is Jyotika, sir, like we say that we have to control ourselves from doing wrong things as it will become negative karma, but sir, if automatically it is going bad, then can we say that it's our destiny and we have to agree this is so? How to decide that what we are doing is our past karma or now we are making a new karma? See, what you are doing right now, this moment, with consciousness and with mindfulness, guided by the highest ethics and values of not doing wrong to any other soul, that is your current karma. The outcomes that have already happened in your life are may still happen, which are not desired outcomes and which are not having a direct cause and effect with your current karma, I say are the results of your past karma, and your karmas are over different births. So sometimes you have to have acceptance that, okay, that has happened. Maybe it's an effect of something I did earlier in my previous birth. Maybe it happens. That's what Indian scriptures talk about. Now, whether it is a fact or not is not something I am going to talk about or create a discussion on. The fact is, it gives you a solution on how to handle a negative outcome in your life. At the end of the day, we are only looking for a solution on how to manage ourselves, how to manage our inner world, how to protect our inner world. And if a logic is given to us through our scriptures, which create a sense of comfort in us, and it protects our inner world from shattering, I don't argue with it. There are people who will argue with it. You have a choice. What happens if you argue? What happens if you question? What happens if you don't accept it? That's also a choice. At the end, you will only say, why me? And you will have no answer to that. When you don't have any answer to that, your inner world will be shattered. Now that's a choice you make. You want to live with a shattered inner world, or you want to protect your inner world. Anything that gives me a logic to protect my inner world, I go for it. That's a thumb rule I follow in my life. You like it, you follow. You want to argue endlessly, keep on arguing. It's a choice you make. And the choice is, my objective is simple. Whatever is happening in my life, and not that everything has been great, there have been a lot of challenges, a lot of things beyond my control have happened in my personal life. Lots of negative events has happened. I've not said, why me? When God was giving me all the good things and is still giving me all the good things, am I saying, why me? No. I'm very happy. I say, oh God, thank you so much. I express my gratitude to you. But when something negative is happening in my life, then why should I say, why me? So I look for a logic that gives me comfort, that keeps my inner world protected, and my inner world is protected when I accept the logic. हाँ, हो सकता है मेरा पुराने जन्म के कर्म हो. That gives me a sense of comfort. I grow out of it. I protect my inner world. I keep my inner world strong, and that create a positive mind, and I benefit from that, and I go on creating positive outcomes more and more in my life because of the positivity in which my mind is now built. Right? So I hope I have answered that, Jyotika. So
Yes,
destiny,
sir.
you want to believe in destiny? Don't accept the lack of effort that has been put in by you and the outcome that you have received, which is less than the desired result. हम काम नहीं कर रहे हैं. We are not working hard enough. And then we say it was our destiny. No, that was not our destiny. Because there is a direct cause and effect of your current karma. You are born into a family. That is your past karma. So you're born into a family which is very maybe rich, super rich. There's no dearth of money. Whatever you want to do, business you have, whatever you want to buy, you can do it. Whatever you, it's there. That's your past karma. But you were born into a poor family. You worked hard day by day, and you kept on working, and you created riches in a life of abundance. That's your current karma. Second thing can also happen. You did not work hard. Now you did not work hard, and you are not having the kind of life that you desired to get. And now you say it is my destiny. That is wrong. That's not your destiny. That's what you desired. So the Guru mantra I have is, you get not what you desire. Huh? You get not what you desire, you get what you deserve. That's the spiritual law. Because if your current efforts are not in sync with what you desire, then you will get what you deserve based on your efforts. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, sir. Right.
So what we have to control is our actions. And your actions are a result of your thoughts. Your mind is a garden. So if you want positive actions, you have to have positive thoughts. And therefore be very conscious about what kind of thoughts are running in your mind. What kind of thoughts are running in your mind? Those thoughts have to be controlled. So mind management is about thought management. And mind loves all these negative thoughts. There's a natural tendency of mind. In fact, it is addicted to thinking about sorrow. It is addicted to thinking about sad things. It is addicted to self-pity. It is addicted to all those, making the pain is also an addiction. There are times when you want to visit, as I said, no, if your mind you consider is a house with 100 rooms, and in each room there is a memory. So some rooms have good memory and some rooms have very bad memories. Now, what is the natural tendency of mind when you're sitting alone? It has tendency to go to the rooms which have terrible memories locked up. So you enter, you open the door, the mind is going again and again in those rooms. That is the natural tendency of mind. And this is what you got to recognize when we are learning about mind management. That mind का natural tendency क्या है? It will love to recall files that create sadness, unhappiness, and grief. That is the natural tendency when you don't control it. It's like an aircraft, no? You put it on autopilot, and say the pilot goes to the toilet. What does the aircraft do? It starts wobbling. And if you are not in control of your mind, what does the mind do? When you are alone, it will start opening the doors of those rooms which has only sorrow, grief, sadness, negative emotions, jealousy, all negative emotions. He loves going there. Now, once you are aware of this natural tendency of your mind, what should you do? Tell me what you should do. Anyone? Jyotika, Priyanka, Isha. Shraddha hasn't spoken much today. Where's Deepali these
So
days?
fix our mind on something positive.
Yeah, Priyanka. So, first thing is you be aware. Abhi, this mind has started giving me monkey tricks. First, be aware that now my mind is playing monkey tricks with me. Right? It's doing things that's going to put me into negative feelings and emotions. So what am I going to do? I'm going to consciously stop opening those doors of the rooms that it's wanting to enter. Instead, what will I do? I will divert my attention. I have good rooms also. For example, I've gone to places which have been so beautiful. Lakes, mountains. I've gone on cruises. I've gone on road trips. All of you have some beautiful memories. You lose a person to death. Now your mind will always open up that door and you'll miss that person. Happens with all of us. In fact, I recently lost my mother. Took 6 months to come out of that grief. Still my mind goes into that. You suddenly start getting into depression and crying and all, start missing. So what do you do when those thoughts start coming? You immediately arrest them. Instead, what you do? What do you do? Get into those rooms which have good memories with that person. And once you start visiting those rooms where you have created good memories, automatically, mind also loves that, but it doesn't have the control. It doesn't have the navigation. Navigation is in your conscious self. You have to be mindful about what monkey tricks the mind is playing on you. So you have to consciously navigate it to different positive rooms. So you visit the positive rooms, visit the positive memories, look at what all you enjoyed together. And you will see that that negative feeling of depression, missing, sadness, grief, that immediately gets converted into happy memories. And your mind loves that. Only thing is, the natural tendency is to go into those rooms. But once you are mindful and conscious that this is what is happening, you stop visiting those rooms. In fact, I say that put all your bad memories of childhood, everything, wherever, all the negative feelings have been created, which keep coming back to you. Put them in one room, lock, throw the key away. Your mind will naturally gravitate towards that room. But be conscious is going there. Then create some other good rooms also of good memories in your life, blessings. Make a written list of blessings that you have and read them every day. The fact that you are born as a normal person, you have a normal eyesight, you can hear well, your limbs are working, itself is a huge blessing. You don't have diabetes, you don't have hypertension, you are able to eat like a normal person. Huge blessings. And one thing you should do, which they do in abroad, in every school, it is mandatory that they do social service. So what do? They take children, every child has to adopt a family or something for social service. You go work for the blind school. You go to an orphanage, offer your time. You go to people who have disabilities. That's when you start being full of gratitude. Because the basic things that God has blessed you with also, we take it for granted. We are talking about people taking us for granted. We take God for granted. How many of the people can't see? How many people cannot speak? You know about Beethoven, the great music composer. Heard of him? He started becoming deaf at the age of 15. Great, one of the greatest musicians we've had. YouTube, you listen to his harmony number 5. Very popular. And this great musician was deaf, could not hear. Of course, he lived a very short life, only 32 years. But in that 32 years, he created absolutely fantastic music that the whole world has been listening to for years. Now, we have good, if just that being conscious that we have these abilities, and we thank God for every little thing. And that's what will bring that mindfulness, that, we need to be full of gratitude. And once we are full of gratitude, God always gives you more, always gives you more, right? So just these things be aware of. And so good, I think. Yes, Jyotika, whatever you have written is correct. But, I loved having interaction with you all. Now, all these things that we discussed have you start practicing them. Whatever I'm talking about, mind management, thoughts control, is a basic technique to control your actions. Your thoughts control your actions. And who controls the thoughts? You have to. You have to control the thoughts. Once you control the thoughts, you do better mind management. Okay, so that is the conscious conclusion of today's lecture. So today we had a 1.5 hour long lecture. So Vishali ma'am, any comments?
Yes, sir. It was very nice, informative session, sir. I think I have learned many things from your lecture, sir. Yes, sir. It's a
God
very
bless.
amazing lecture, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So tomorrow we don't have a lecture, right?
No, sir.
Saturday we said we will not have.
Okay.
But if you want to have, I think I have room tomorrow. We can do it.
Okay, sir. No issues. If from your side, you are.
I think if we can avoid tomorrow is better, because
Okay, sir. No issue.
tomorrow is actually today is my wife's birthday and we are celebrating tomorrow. So I want to give 100% of my time.
Happy birthday, sir. Please convey my message.
I will. Huh?
Yes, sir.
So thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. All of you have been brilliant today. Okay, God bless.
Thank you. So it was a really nice and interactive session today. I think most of the girls participated, like in chat box and everything. So that was nice. And there were so many like topics which you covered in just like like flow में सारे cover हो गए because everything was related. I feel like some or the other way the doubts they were asking. So yeah, that was nice. And also yes, wish your wife a really happy birthday.
I will, from all of you. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And you all keep smiling, be happy, but be now conscious about all the discussions we make in this class and practicing these concepts every day, right? It'll make you a very powerful mind, and that mind is going to do amazing things in your life. You will create such a life of abundance and respect. Okay. God bless you all. Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.